Zainal. The headlines. Zulfarhan murder case, death penalty reinstated for 6 former UPNM students. And all 3 Sungai Selangor water treatment plants are operational again. Good morning. We begin with this story. The Court of Appeal on Tuesday imposed the death sentence on 6 former students of University Pertahanan Nasional Malaysia, UPNM, for the murder of Navy Cadet Officer Zulfarhan Osman Zulkarnain 7 years ago. The sentence was meted out after a 3-judge panel led by Judge Datuk Hadaria Said Ismail allowed the prosecution's cross-appeal to reinstate Section 302 of the Penal Code, initially faced by all the accused. Delivering the unanimous decision, Hadaria stated that the High Court judge had erred in amending the original murder charge under Section 302 of the Penal Code to Section 304, subsection A of the Penal Code. In her ruling, Hadaria stated that the court found the 5 defendants had taken turns pressing a steam iron on the entire body of the deceased, including his private parts, while Abdul Hakim was complicit in inciting and instructing the 5 defendants to do so. The accused are Muhammad Akmal Zuhairi Azmal, Muhammad Azamuddin Matsofi, Muhammad Najib Muhammad Razi, Muhammad Afif Najmuddin Azahat, Muhammad Shobirin Sabri, and Abdul Hakim Muhammad Ali. Initially, Akmal, Azamuddin, Najib, Afif, and Shobirin faced murder charges under Section 302 of the Penal Code, which provides for a mandatory death penalty upon conviction, whereas Abdul Hakim was charged as an accomplice under Section 109 of the same code, which also carries a mandatory death penalty. The Kuala Lumpur High Court had then found all 6 defendants guilty of causing injury to Zulfarhan with intent, but without the intention to kill under Section 304, subsection A of the Penal Code, which provides for imprisonment of up to 30 years and a fine if the act was committed with the intent to cause death. All of them were accused of committing the acts in a room at the Jebat Hostel Block, UPNM, between 4:45 a.m. and 5:45 a.m. on May 22, 2017. Zulfarhan passed away at the Serdang Hospital on June 1, 2017. Meanwhile, the 3-judge panel overturned the 3-year prison sentences imposed on 12 other former students of the same university for injuring Zulfarhan to 4 years of imprisonment. Selangor had announced that all 3 water treatment plants, which experienced temporary shutdown, are now operational again. At 9 p.m. on Tuesday, Sungai Selangor Phase 1, Sungai Selangor Phase 2, and Sungai Selangor Phase 3 water treatment plants have commenced operations. Now, the organization has also mobilized alternative water supply assistance through water tankers at 17 locations for consumer use. Priority is given to critical premises such as hospitals, clinics, dialysis centers, and funeral service centers during this period of unscheduled water supply disruption. Earlier, 7 Selangor regions experienced unscheduled water supply disruption following an odor pollution incident at Sungai Kundang and Sungai Sembah. A total of 123 Malaysians, including 80 students, safely arrived in Malaysia from Bangladesh on Tuesday. They arrived at Kuala Lumpur International Airport, KLIA, Terminal 2 at 5:10 p.m. on Air Asia flight AK0076, which departed from Hazrat Shah Jahan International Airport in Dhaka. Home Minister Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail, representing the Prime Minister, and Deputy Foreign Minister Datuk Muhammad Alamin welcomed the evacuees on arrival.
Bagusnya ada pelajar-pelajar kita, mereka jelas isu yang berlaku adalah domestic issue. Mereka tahu peranan mereka sebagai pelajar, utamaan mereka adalah keselamatan nyawa dan semangat mereka tinggi. Jadi, berharap keadaan reda dan mereka nak menamatkan pengajian.
Saifuddin added that there were some Malaysians who chose to stay in Bangladesh, including final-year students and those working in the country. They are advised to maintain communication with the High Commission of Malaysia in Dhaka for updated information and necessary support. Meanwhile, the students who have returned and their family members expressed the relief of being able to meet with each other.
Diorang mau kepada antara diorang lah. adalah juga sebab diorang kata ada macam kena pukul semua tu kan. Kita pun takut nak keluar rumah untuk pergi pasar semua tu tak boleh lah.
Daripada segi makanan bagaimana?
Makanan tu sebab kita orang dah beli awal sebelum dia bagi tahu kena duduk rumah semua kan. Jadi cukup je alhamdulillah semua. And few days ago embassy datang kita bagi makanan juga.
Terima kasih kepada Allah SWT dan pasukan penggerak Persatuan Ibu Bapa, wakil pelajar, pihak embassy dan Kementerian Luar Negara lah di bawah kepimpinan Datuk Seri Utama Tok Mat Hassan dan telah berjaya menjalankan evacuation plan ni di mana kita dah rancang dalam tempoh 72 jam.
Malaysia became the second country after India to evacuate its citizens following the protests in Bangladesh, which have claimed more than 130 lives since mid-July. The Bangladesh government on Tuesday said it would heed a Supreme Court ruling that 93% of state jobs be open to competition, meeting a key demand of students after a week of some of the country's deadliest protests in years. Relative calm prevailed for a second straight day in Dhaka and most major cities, although the army chief said security had still not been entirely restored after he surveyed the capital by helicopter. The government also announced an easing of the curfew imposed, lifting it from Wednesday between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. local time to allow people to shop for essentials, with offices reopened between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Students, however, raised fresh demands, including the scrapping of the curfew, restoration of internet services, and the reopening of campuses, leaving unclear whether the government's acceptance of the court decision would completely diffuse the unrest. A 31-year-old man has been remanded to assist in the investigation into the case involving 6-year-old Albertine Leo Jiahui. Magistrate Muhammad Fitri Mokhtar issued a 7-day remand order at the Johor Bahru Magistrates Court on Tuesday. The man was arrested at a budget hotel in Batangkali, Selangor, where police also found Albertine safe and sound at 4:45 a.m. on Tuesday. The arrest of the man in Selangor brings the total to 5 individuals who have been detained relating to the case so far. On Tuesday morning, 2 men and 2 women aged 28 to 55 were remanded for 4 days at the same court to assist in the case. The case will be investigated under the Penal Code. Albertine was reported missing at a shopping mall in Iskandar Putri on Saturday. Her discovery at a budget hotel in Selangor on Tuesday morning brings the police's 6-day search to an end. Now, as for the 6-year-old victim, she is reportedly receiving health inspection at a hospital in Selangor. She is also believed to be recuperating with her family. The police said that no motive has yet been ascertained over the alleged kidnapping and no ransom demand was made.
Tangkapan telah dibuat pada jam lebih kurang 4 lebih pagi tadi. Mangsa dalam keadaan selamat dan suspek telah dibawa ke Johor untuk siasatan lanjut.
The investigation is being conducted under the Penal Code for kidnapping or abducting a person with the intent to cause that person to be secretly and wrongfully confined, which carries the penalty of a jail term of up to 7 years and a fine upon conviction. The case is also being investigated under the Sexual Offences Against Children Act 2017, covering the offence of physical sexual assault on a child, which carries the penalty of a maximum 20 years jail and whipping upon conviction. Moving on, the Finance Ministry has concluded that at least 6.5 million litres of diesel were misappropriated by industries or smuggled into neighbouring countries daily before the targeted diesel subsidy was implemented. Second Finance Minister Datuk Seri Amir Hamzah Azizan told the Dewan Negara on Tuesday that the rationalisation of diesel subsidy has resulted in a 23% or 6.5 million litres reduction in daily sales at petrol stations in Peninsular Malaysia.
Kesimpulan ini disokong dengan data yang menunjukkan jualan diesel secara komersial telah meningkat sebanyak 4.8 juta liter sehari bagi tempoh perbandingan yang sama. Memandangkan kini harga diesel minyak adalah pada RM3.35 seliter, pihak industri yang sebelum ini membeli diesel bersubsidi telah beralih balik kepada membeli diesel secara komersial.
He also revealed that in early June, the average daily diesel sales was 28.6 million litres, which dropped to 22.2 million litres in early July 2024. Amir Hamza noted that some petrol stations near the border in northern peninsular Malaysia have experienced a drop in diesel sales of up to 40 to 50% since the measure took effect. The situation reflects a decrease in smuggling activities to the neighboring country due to reduced profit margins for smugglers. The 2023 Sijil Tinggi Persekolahan Malaysia (STPM) results recorded an all-time high national cumulative grade point of 2.84, the highest since the examination was introduced. 1,116 STPM candidates obtained a perfect 4.0 CGPA in 2023. In announcing the results on Tuesday, Malaysian Examinations Council MPM Chairman Professor Datuk Dr. Muhammad Ikhwan Toriman said the national CGPA has improved 0.02 points from last year's 2.82.
Dengan peningkatan bilangan calon pada PNGK yang telah disebut ini, maka boleh dijadikan jangkaan insya-Allah seperti tahun-tahun lepas, tiada halangan lebih ramai calon lepasan STPM tahun 2023 diterima masuk ke Universiti Awam dan Swasta pada tahun ini berbanding lepasan STPM tahun 2022.
803 candidates, or 71.95% of candidates who achieved a 4.0 CGPA, were from the B40 category. Ikhwan also said there is an increase in the percentage of candidates who achieved CGPA of 2.0 and above compared to the 2022 results. A total of 42,908 candidates registered to sit for the STPM examination in 2023, but only 41,548 candidates sat for the examination. Small rubber plantations should be consolidated to increase productivity to help reduce the country's reliance on imported rubber. Plantation and Commodities Minister Datuk Seri Johari Abdul Ghani said the issue of scarce labour has been impacting the productivity of small rubber plantations, and a consolidation of these plantations would help raise productivity. Johari said Malaysia imported 6.5 billion ringgit worth of rubber in 2022 and 5.7 billion ringgit in 2023.
Kita nak bawa industri downstream ni, macam mana dia boleh bekerjasama dengan upstream. Jadi apa saja yang dikeluarkan oleh upstream boleh dipakai. Dia tanpa menunggu harga getah naik turun untuk toreh.
According to him, Malaysia, which was the biggest rubber exporter, is now the largest rubber importer following a reduction in rubber production over the years. Although the land area has not changed much in the past 10 years, Johari said the rubber production decreased by 55% from 2013. Johari added that the other issue was with smallholders who refused to let go of their abandoned lands. If the abandoned lands could be restored, he stressed that the government could provide local or even foreign workers to tap rubber trees without waiting for the price of rubber to increase. The Road Transport Department RTD has announced the appointment of AD Fadli Ramli as its new Director General effective Tuesday. He replaces Datuk Rospiagos Taha, who has held the position since June 19th last year. In a statement today, RTD said AD Fadli, who graduated with a Master of Science from Berlin University of Technology, Germany, is experienced in strategic planning of policies, issues and systems related to road transport, as well as operational planning of RTD, having served as its Deputy Director General of Planning and Operations since 2021. He has also held the position of Transport Ministry's Development Division Secretary, Education Ministry Procurement and Assets Division Secretary, and also served in various federal government agencies. The statement said, based on his experience and leadership, AD Fadli is expected to continue to drive the excellence of the department as the main agency that regulates road transport affairs in this country. Thailand to legislate medical marijuana. News from the foreign front when we return.
istimewa di MHI sepanjang minggu ini.
Pempengaruh temberang licik guna populariti untuk kaut keuntungan.
Benarkah gangguan makhluk halus mampu jejaskan kesihatan mental?
Mampukah hobi e-sports menjadi kerjaya?
Pemberian nama anak, ketahui garis panduan Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara.
Dan soal wang, projek rintis sistem e-invoice turut dibincangkan.
Jangan lupa temu janji kita Isnin hingga Jumaat 9.30 pagi MHI hanya di TV3.
Juga stream melalui Tonton.
Diving deep into the business world
with expert insights and in-depth analysis.
The latest trends and developments shaping the country, region and the globe.
Key insights into finance.
On Money Matters.
Every Saturday at 5 p.m.
on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Yana, kalau nak bahagia, kena banyak duit ke?
Tak juga. Macam-macam cara kita boleh cari bahagia.
Okey, kalau cendawan kita boleh masak apa?
Rasanya ada macam-macam menu boleh masak gula cendawan ni. Nantikan Selasa ni.
Ambil dulu, bayar kemudian. Tak bagus.
Hati-hati. Takut terjerat dengan hutang.
Kolesterol tinggi dalam kalangan wanita.
Kenapa
Nak tegur takut pula nanti kena marah.
Alah, tak boleh ke nak tegur pasangan sendiri untuk kebaikan bersama kan?
Semuanya di WHI TV3
dan stream ditonton.
Wanita hari ini.
We're back with the foreign front. Thailand's Deputy Prime Minister on Tuesday announced that the country is working towards legislating marijuana for medical use, signaling a U-turn on plans to recriminalize the plant and another change in the government's hazy position on cannabis. Deputy Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul, whose party was instrumental in pushing for marijuana liberalization, said Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin had now agreed that legislation was the appropriate step to take. He said the government will now discuss plans for a draft bill to regulate the cannabis industry and wider uses of the plant. Although details are not yet clear, the move to regulate weed could halt Srettha's controversial push to outlaw cannabis. Thailand in 2022 became one of the first countries in Asia to decriminalize marijuana. The move, however, led to an explosion of recreational use and the launch of tens of thousands of cannabis cafes and retailers, prompting public concern about its abuse. Leaders of Palestinian factions signed a joint statement in Beijing on Tuesday aimed at ending divisions and building unity between the bitter rivals. The agreement, which was finalized after 3 days of intensive talks in China, was signed by long-term rivals Hamas and Fatah, as well as 12 other Palestinian groups. The statement calls for the formation of a Palestinian unity government overseeing the West Bank, Jerusalem, and the Gaza Strip, and eventually holding elections for which the leaders of the factions will meet and draw up a roadmap. Meanwhile, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi called the meeting a historic moment for the cause of Palestine's liberation and highlighted the consensus around establishing an interim national reconciliation government to manage Gaza after Israel's war. The chairman and president of a major Japanese dietary supplement maker announced their resignation on Tuesday as the company probes 80 deaths potentially linked to their tablets. Now, Kobayashi Pharmaceuticals president Akihiro Kobayashi and chairman Kazumasa Kobayashi announced they were leaving their posts after the company released a damning external report that said the firm had failed to prioritize consumer safety and acted with an insufficient sense of urgency. In a statement, the company said the decision was made to clarify executive responsibility over a series of actions related to the Benikoji issue. The scandal erupted in March when the company recalled 3 brands of dietary supplements after customers complained of kidney problems. It later said it had detected a potentially toxic acid produced by the mold at one of its factories and was probing a total of 80 deaths possibly connected to its pills. Moving on, the billionaire founder of South Korean tech giant Kakao Corp was arrested on Tuesday on accusations of manipulating stocks during the acquisition of a K-pop agency last year. A court in Seoul issued the arrest warrant for Kim Bom-soo, citing the possibility that he could try to flee or destroy evidence. Prosecutors said Kim was involved in manipulating the stock price of SM Entertainment to hinder its competitor, Hybe Corp, from acquiring it. They accused Kim of colluding with a private equity fund to buy some $173 million worth of shares to inflate SM Entertainment's stock price and prevent its takeover by Hybe. His arrest will last up to 20 days, during which prosecutors will investigate further before deciding whether to indict him. Meanwhile, Kim has denied the accusation, saying he never ordered or tolerated any illegal activity. He has so far not been formally charged. Britain's Conservative Party said it will announce its new leader on November 2nd, following the party's worst ever election performance this month. In a statement on Monday, the party said no candidate has officially put their name forward. However, several figures have been tipped as potential successors to former Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Among them are former Trade Minister Kemi Badenoch, hardline ex-Interior Minister Suella Braverman, and former top diplomat James Cleverly. The party's 1922 committee will set the rules of the race, with candidates able to declare their bids until July 29th. The 121 Conservative MPs will then vote twice to whittle down the contenders to 2 finalists, with party members deciding the winner during an online vote in October. The final result will be announced on November 2nd. Sunak's replacement will become the official leader of the opposition in Parliament and spar with new Prime Minister Keir Starmer during the weekly Prime Minister's questions.
In this job,
Izzat shines at Tour de Banyuwangi. Sports when we come back.
Diving deep into the business world.
With expert insights and in-depth analysis.
The latest trends and developments shaping the country, region and the globe.
Key insights into finance.
On Money Matters.
Every Saturday at 5 p.m.
on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Wanita hari ini. Yana, kalau nak bahagia, kena banyak duit ke? Tak juga. Macam-macam cara kita boleh cari bahagia. Okey, kalau cendawan kita boleh masak apa? Rasanya ada macam-macam menu boleh masak gula cendawan ni. Nanti kan Selasa ni. Ambil dulu, bayar kemudian. Tak bagus tu. Hati-hati. Takut terjerat dengan hutang. Kolesterol tinggi dalam kalangan wanita. Kenapa nak tegur takut pula nanti kena marah. Alah, tak boleh ke nak tegur pasangan sendiri untuk kebaikan bersama kan? Semuanya di WHI TV3 dan stream ditonton. Wanita hari ini.
Istimewa di MHI sepanjang minggu ini.
Pempengaruh temberang licik guna populariti untuk kaut keuntungan.
Benarkah gangguan makhluk halus mampu jejaskan kesihatan mental?
Mampukah hobi e-sports menjadi kerjaya?
Pemberian nama anak, ketahui garis panduan Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara.
Dan soal wang, projek rintis sistem e-invoice turut dibincangkan.
Jangan lupa temu janji kita Isnin hingga Jumaat 9.30 pagi MHI hanya di TV3.
Juga stream melalui Tonton.
We're back with sports football, the 2024 ASEAN Under-19 Championship. The national U19 football squad continued their excellent run by beating Singapore 5-0 in the second match of Group C on Monday. The young Tigers, who trooped out as the defending champions, started the scoring spree through Muhammad Rizwan Rosli's goal in the 7th minute, followed by a goal by Muhammad Naim Zainuddin 5 minutes later, while G. Pavitran made it 3-0 just before the interval. After the restart, Juan Torres Garrido's boys added 2 more goals through Muhammad Faris Danish Muhammad Azrul in the 73rd minute, and Izzat Muhammad Shahir completed the 5-0 rout for Malaysia in the 82nd minute. The national squad, which started the campaign in style, will play Thailand to decide the group champion on Thursday. On to cycling, the 2024 Tour de Banyuwangi. National pro cycling rider Muhammad Izzat Hilmi Abdul Halil capped off another stellar performance by finishing second in the second stage on Tuesday. The race, which spanned from Alaspurwo to Banyuwangi, covered a distance of 147.8 kilometers. Several riders attempted to break away at the start, but only Australian rider Bentley Nikkei Olden made a successful solo, leading for most of the race. In the final 100 meters, an accident occurred, but it did not impede the front rider's pace, and the focus remained on national rider Izzat to find a breakthrough. However, Martin Last claimed the stage win, with Izzat finishing in second place and Terry Kusuma from the Kelapa Gading Bikers team taking third. Despite this, Nikkei Olden still holds the polka dot king of the hill jersey with 4 points, while Australian Ryan Kavanagh retains the yellow jersey as the overall leader with an 8-second lead over rival Boris Clark. Moving on to badminton, it's like falling in love again, and national top singles shuttler Li Zijie wants to use that passion to drive his campaign in the 2024 Paris Olympics, which officially kicks off on Saturday. After enduring a series of ups and downs in his performance, the world number 7 seems to have rediscovered his mojo in the recent stretch of tournaments leading up to the Olympics.
Of course, we have tough training, but at the same time, we need to relax and enjoy as well. So, yeah, I think that's the plan for us towards Olympics. In this moment now, I think I'm getting more enjoy in the court. I'm getting the love back, you know, for badminton. So, I mean, it's a good thing, and we have not much time left to the Olympics. So, I hope that, you know, I can bring all this energy, all these vibes as well, the positive things, you know, to the Olympics. Yeah.
The 26-year-old has been placed in a relatively easy group, which includes world number 72, Viren Nitosinghe of Sri Lanka, and world number 63, Pablo Abian from Spain. If he tops the group to qualify for the knockout stage, Zijie will likely meet world number 9, Anthony Sinisuka Ginting of Indonesia, in the last 16. Coming up, MACC obtains remand orders against 7 enforcement officers.
Memang saya boleh bayangkan, ngeri. 33 kaki nafas sesak. Kita akan susah bernafas.
Jenazah yang dikenal pasti sebagai warga Malaysia akan dibawa pulang ke tanah air secepat mungkin.
Bila jenazah lambat sampai kat sini, saya rasa satu penyesaan.
Masa itulah semua orang peluk mak kan, meraung kan.
Diving deep into the business world.
With expert insights and in-depth analysis.
The latest trends and developments shaping the country, region and the globe.
Key insights into finance.
On Money Matters.
Every Saturday at 5 p.m.
on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Istimewa di MHI sepanjang minggu ini.
Pempengaruh temberang licik guna populariti untuk kaut keuntungan.
Benarkah gangguan makhluk halus mampu jejaskan kesihatan mental?
Mampukah hobi e-sports menjadi kerjaya?
Pemberian nama anak, ketahui garis panduan Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara.
Dan soal wang, projek rintis sistem e-invoice turut dibincangkan.
Jangan lupa temu janji kita Isnin hingga Jumaat 9.30 pagi MHI hanya di TV3.
Juga stream melalui Tonton.
Thanks for staying with us. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC has obtained remand orders against 7 local council enforcement officers who allegedly took bribes to turn a blind eye to businesses operated by foreigners. Magistrate Amira Abdul Aziz ordered that 5 of the enforcement officers be remanded for 5 days and the remaining 2 for 7 days starting Tuesday to assist in investigations under the MACC Act 2009. The suspects arrived at the Jalan Duta Court complex at 9:55 a.m. It was reported on Monday that the MACC's ongoing crackdown on Alibaba-type businesses had continued with the arrests of local council enforcement personnel. In an operation similar to a protection racket, these personnel allegedly collected nearly 12,000 ringgit a month from the illegally run Alibaba businesses. The business operators allegedly paid them between 200 ringgit and 1,000 ringgit each month for immunity from enforcement action. The bribes were to ensure that the business operators received tip-offs on impending enforcement operations. The operation was a follow-up to OpStar, where a crackdown on Alibaba-type businesses operated by foreigners led to the MACC arresting 8 people in a joint crackdown with Kuala Lumpur City Hall, DBKL, last week. In Pulau Pinang, a 35-year-old woman has pleaded not guilty at the Butterworth Magistrates Court to 28 charges of criminal breach of trust (CBT) involving 580,000 ringgit. Fatin Atikah Abdul Halim is accused of transferring 581,492 ringgit 45 sen in stages from her employer's account to her personal account between April 2022 and June last year. The mother of 3 was charged under the Penal Code. If found guilty, she faces up to 14 years in jail and a fine. Magistrate Noor Aini Yusof set bail at 75,000 ringgit. Case remention was set for August 23rd. As we wrap up Nightline this time around, let's take a look as Algeria's paddleboarding enthusiasts battle it out in a race at the 10th annual Blue Summer Paddle Race held at Le Grand Bleu compound. With that, I'm Sabrina Zainal. Thank you for tuning in and be safe.